What is going on, Queen City Reefers? Welcome to another episode here with Queen City Reefs and more. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wanted to put a video out there to talk about this tank here. That way, you can see the progress of it from beginning to end. So here, as you know, if you follow me on the shorts, you'll see that I showed this tank when it was empty, when I was cleaning and all that. And this will literally be the first actual longer form video where I'm showing it and talking more about it. You'll be able to see my reflection on there. But anyway, so before we get started though, I do want to give myself a self plug. For those that don't know, I have a website that has launched, www.queencityreefs.com. I'll leave that in the comments below. That's where you'll find most or all of my corals that I actually grow here. About 90% of them are homegrown in my tank. They've been there for years, and so you'll definitely be getting a healthy coral if you decide to purchase. And then about 10% I do get from wholesale because, of course, I want to make sure to have some kind of variety, which gives me an option to be able to get corals and grow them myself as well. That being said, we'll get straight to the video now. So what you're looking at here is a 20-gallon Innovative Marine. I'm not sure if it's called a drop-off tank or drop-down tank. I believe it's a drop-off tank. So if you can see, the name literally is based off the way that they designed this tank. And that's because they have a higher level right here with a lower level there. It is a small form factor, only 20 gallons. When I saw Mark from MrSaltwaterAquarium.com and then also Andrew from Polo Reef have that, their gigantic drop-off tank, it's something that I was like, wow, I love that form factor. I want one, but I definitely can't, for one, afford one because I'm sure it's got to be custom made. And for number two, I already have a big tank, so there's no way I could have a second big tank in this house. I don't think my wife would approve, so I decided to go with a 20-gallon, which should suffice. I don't know what direction I'm going to go with this yet. I've had lots of ideas, but none that are concrete. One of the ideas I'll share is making this a ZOA tank. It's a way to kind of be able to not have them in the big tanks and have them spread everywhere and be able to control them in here. But I do know that there's some zoas that actually grow faster and repopulate faster than others, and so I would hate to buy a specific type of zoa. I'd hate to buy like 10 of them, right? And then one or two take off quickly and then outcompete the others. So I have to do a little bit of research of which ones grow slow, which ones grow fast, so that I can make my decision on which zoas to get first, which would be the slow ones, to give them some time to start, creating a colony here, and then decide to go for some faster growing corals once those have taken off. That's one of the ideas. I don't know yet. Like I definitely would, think about putting torches, think about putting hammers and so on and so forth, but I'm already going to have a tank that will have all that. And so I feel like I really need to make this different and stand out different than my other tanks. So definitely we're looking forward to any ideas, any thoughts that you might have, and definitely leave it in the comments below. Definitely will take some suggestions, and maybe somebody would have a great idea that I would end up going by. That being said, let's talk about what's inside right now. Right now this tank is cycling, and inside you'll find just some live rock. There's a different type of live rock here. So you'll find at the bottom right here, you'll find that there is Carib Sea life rock. And then this is something that I've had for some time now. It's real reef rock. And then here is a piece of Marco rock. And then this rock that's actually magnetized through the back right here is a not real rock. It's from Aqua Rocks, which I guess they mold themselves and into this magnetic rock that has frag plugs already in there. I don't think you'll be able to see them through the top. Oh yeah, you can actually see them. Where you can actually put frags of corals without having to cut them. So I think that's pretty neat. But being that the rest of it don't have that, I'm going to have to cut some frags anyways to get them to fit. So this tank here is going to be lit up by two AI blades. I believe these are the 12-inch. I decided to buy a mount for them. These mounts don't actually come with them. They come with the ones that make it sit flat on the very top where you can barely even notice them. But I noticed that did not give the spread that I wanted to. You could see in the tank where the light would only kind of come through here and here, and it wouldn't actually look like a full tank with full of light or anything like that. So I figured that I needed to lift them to get them to actually light up more than what I was seeing. And so I haven't done a par test yet. That's definitely going to be a video coming soon of a par test with these two lights. There's actually a grow and a glow, and so the grow is the blue one, and then the glow is the one that has the violet channels, so that it gives those corals that pop. So definitely looking forward to, you know, one day having corals and being able to showcase the corals with these lights here, because they look actually very, very sleek, almost like a freshwater light. In the back chamber, this is a tank that is actually considered a all-in-one tank, meaning that the back chamber here is the filtration system. The water actually goes through those overflows right there, and then passes through some filter right there, and then comes into this area where there, you know, I have some media or skimmer or whatever the case may be, and then comes into here where then it's returned right back into the tank. Right now there's only sponges in here. This tank, I bought it used. You won't actually find this tank on their website anymore. So if this is something that interests you, you just have to get lucky like me and be looking on Marketplace, Craigslist, OfferUp, you know, all those areas where they sell used stuff, and see if maybe it comes up. I was able to find this one at a great deal, and so I'm thankful that I was, because I had been looking for it for quite some time now. And therefore it didn't come with any original parts other than the tank itself only. The pump that it came with actually was busted. It didn't work, and so I ended up adding I think Aqua Elimination Axis 40. So it's a 400 gallon per hour. It actually gives a real good flow, and I had to turn it down. Oh, it looks like the lights on the main tank already turned off. But I had to turn down the intensity to like 30% because it was actually way too strong. In here there's just filter sponge that I cut up myself, custom filter sponge, so that through the cycle I don't really need to you know, filter anything out. At some point I do plan on getting one of those media caddies. I believe honestly that Innovative Marine makes them, because they others from like the Nuvos fit in here, and I'd rather buy those because they're well made and they're actually cheaper, $29.99 each, versus I've seen some aftermarket ones that get up to $50 for whatever reason. But I'm definitely going to wait for a sale. I'm not in any rush, so hopefully that price comes down from $29.99 to sometimes it'll be 10 or 20% off. As of right now, that is really all that's really going on in this tank. Oh yeah, I did forget to mention that the power head that I have in here is an AI Nero 5. So you can almost say that this is an AI ran tank, right? Because it has the axis for the return pump, the Nero for the power head, and then the AI blades. That was not on purpose, I promise. The Nero 3 is what it's in here. I actually purchased used from Marketplace for like $50. So the plan was to put a J-bow in here, which is an aftermarket pump that are pretty cost effective, and you're able to find for around that same price. But when I saw that this gentleman was willing to sell it for $50, I was like, why not? And then the access, it was meant for a different tank, but I didn't end up using it. Actually, no, I ended up breaking down the tank is what happened, and so then I had the pump laying there, and then I decided to put it in here, and it actually worked out because the original pump did not work. And then the lights, I actually bought them a while back to build a 10-gallon tank, Reef tank, but never got around to that. And so they were in the box, my bad habit of buying things and then not end up using them for quite some time. So here they are, and everything actually ended up working out. The only thing that I purchased recently was really that Aqua Rock magnet rock that already has frag holes, you know, in it. But all the other rock that's in here, I actually have had for years. You know, I've broken down tanks, and a lot of times I sell all the tanks and everything, you know, the equipment-wise that comes with it, but I always end up keeping the rock for whatever reason. My wife calls me a hoarder when it comes to reef stuff, because I sometimes won't sell it, and I put it, you know, in the garage and store it. But recently I have been taking a lot of those things out of the box and putting them on Marketplace to sell. So I don't know if there's really much more to say, being that this is a bare tank. You know, it's still in the cycling phase. I added ammonia and nitrifying bacteria, and so now it's just going through its cycle. And in about a week or so, I'm going to measure it to see if it's gone through the cycle where, you know, you don't detect any more ammonia, you don't detect any more nitrite, and then you only detect the low range of nitrate. And that's when, honestly, I feel comfortable enough to put, you know, fish and corals. Now, of course, I'm not going to go all out and put 20 fish in here, and plus it's a little tank. But for right now, I'm letting it cycle and letting it run its course. I don't run the lights when I am actually cycling. I know some people say you may as well, so that you could start the full cycle of algae and all that. But because I don't have the funds nor the time right now to be worried about algae growing and having to buy, beneficial, inverts for eating the algae and copepods and all that, I decided that I'm gonna just wait until the cycle is over, add a few fish, which will, make sure that the bacteria stays alive and well in here. And then at some point I'll start adding, some of the inverts. Of course I have to make sure that I get them through the QT and all that stuff, but then after that I will definitely be adding that, and I'll bring you along for that ride. If you have any comments, questions, concerns about this tank or anything in general with what's going on here, please leave it in the comments below. Any suggestions, please leave it in the comments below. I will leave you for now. The next tank we're going to be talking about is this mangrove tank that I decided to convert from the fresh water that I once posted about into this salt water. It's still not at 100% salinity because, as you can see, 2 of the mangroves are suffering. But we'll talk about that in the transition to salt water from fresh water and what I've done in order to get it to this point, and eventually hopefully full salt water with some critters in here too. But we'll leave that for another video. For now, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed watching this episode. I hope that you consider subscribing if you're not already. Hit that like button to make sure that this video gets out to a lot of people, and hope that we soon get to 2,000 subscribers. All right, I'll catch you on the next one.